see if we can get Alan and see if he's on here.
Yeah, well, if he comes on, we'll add him. Okay, I'm recording right now, and we're making this video for those people that want to talk about the redemption process and or the straw man claim. Is it a scam by the government? I mean, you decide. So I got 2 people online right now, and if you guys can introduce yourselves if you want. If not, you can call yourselves Mr. John Doe or Jane Doe, whatever you decide.
I'm Mrs. Smith.
and I'm Mr. Smith.
Okay, and so we were talking about this pretty much all night about Sam Davis, and there's a couple things that you guys brought up that made sense, and I also started bringing up certain things, and that's how this conversation got started. So, what were the certain things that you guys were talking about Sam Davis and his process?
Pretty much that, well, definitely his process is never consistent, like as in the one video that you have where you put him on the video, and he gives out real information, and then he goes ahead and makes other shows where he tells people to just walk into court and ask the judge to please forgive them of their sins, like that's going to work, and that it was very inconsistent information, and how it's very interesting how his case never really seemed to pan out. He really never seemed too interested or worried about it, and then it just kind of disappeared, and he just decided to retire, which is rather interesting. It was a very abrupt retirement, almost like the exiting of a stage really quickly before your pants fell down or something. So
he retired, correct?
Yes, and he did it very abruptly. He did it within like a 3-day period of time. He told everybody, I'm out of here. It was just weird, and he did it really suddenly, and it was just like, well, I'm out of here. And that was it.
And then what we found interesting, too, was that it kind of coincided with Greg Gentry's return on the scene after supposedly having been in custody at some federal prison for, 8 months?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
August of last year.
Yep, August of last year.
And what was the part that you guys just couldn't fathom? You just couldn't believe that was true.
That he was in jail.
Right.
Because he was Skyping people all the time. And how can you Skype somebody from Camp FEMA? You don't have a jail number. You don't have a prisoner number. Okay, nobody knows how to write you. You have to write a P.O. box, and his notary will send it to him. Okay, but how do they know how to find him if he doesn't even know where he's at? And they're moving him around all the time. You can't get it to him, but they can. One person can get it to him, but you can't. Because they're moving me around so much. If you don't go ahead and write to my P.O. box, then basically I'm not going to be able to give you a prisoner ID number or a place where I'm located. So, hello, where the hell are you? He's probably sitting in, what I said, I used to make a joke. I said, I know what he's doing. He's probably sitting in the Cayman Islands sipping on a margarita, sitting there Skyping everybody, laughing his ass off. Yeah, Camp FEMA. I'll take another margarita, please. Thank you.
Yeah, and I've seen people do those, especially those techniques where they say that they'll help you, and don't want to disclose what they're going to do until you pay them your $2,000, $5,000, $10,000. I mean, have you guys heard about that as well?
Oh, yeah. He actually was one of the people that would say, don't believe in any of these people that are trying to charge you money. And then he had a mentor program. Well, whenever you would try to go onto Greg's website and go down to the mentor program, you'd have to have a special password to get in there. Well, guess what? If you wanted to be mentored, it cost $500 per incident, or it was like $250 for a single incident, depending on if it was a big hefty duty case. If it was something light, it would be $250. And if it was something like foreclosure or something else, it would be $500. And I mean, he had a different price scale. If you wanted to learn how to mentor other people, it was $1,000. Well, now the price tag has gone up to 10,000 buckaroos, and he is kicking off a nationwide tour, and I believe either somewhere in California or somewhere in Florida.
And everybody's forgotten that he was in jail, of course.
Right, because people want to go sign up and go right to jail and directly to jail, and they don't want to collect their $200 because basically I'm going to listen to a guy who's sitting and just came out of freaking Camp FEMA and in jail. Hello?
Well, that's what turned me off to Greg Gentry was he started out, on the Robin Hood side where he was providing a lot of his information without charging, and then all of a sudden he's into charging, and after having criticized those folks himself. So I mean, what's the deal there?
Oh, he works. He's actually a government agent. He does work for the IRS. I found much proof of that. He actually is like some kind of comptroller. I think he might have been the comptroller of currency at one time. Well, he has a lot of knowledge about that.
Yeah, well, it's just funny how most of these people, they say, well, you know, no, I don't charge, and then they turn around and they do charge,
yeah.
which is what I've always said. Hey, you know what? Ask for donations, and if people decide to donate, then that's fine. But to do it to a certain way where, you know, you make it seem like you're not going to ask for at least a donation, and then you turn around and charge. That's just kind of doing a 180 right there. But you know, and one thing really quick I want to put in here. It's already almost 6 minutes, but we have like 4 minutes left. But was that the straw man thing? Why I didn't agree with that is because it's just common sense in my opinion. People want to state that when they were born, the government came and tricked the parents to signing this contract with them called the birth certificate, which I agree. And then they turn around and say, okay, well, if you don't sign this, sometimes in some states, sometimes you don't even get your child. So they force them, you know, and then the baby grows up and you become a man, and through YouTube and internet somehow, magically this information comes forward and you somehow realize that, wait a minute, there was a fraud committed here. They are claiming that this corporation is me and it's not me. So then the next logical step, or illogical, I should say, is I'm going to claim that it's my corporation when in fact, number one, you were not a party to that contract because your signature wasn't there. Number two, even had you been a party to that contract, I think being an infant doesn't qualify you to know what you're doing at that time. And so, I mean, you know, you want to start claiming that it's yours, you file a UCC, you start filing all these things, which I believe is a scam by the government because it constitutes fraud, mail fraud and other perjury or perjurous statements there, because you were never a party to that, and even if you were, you weren't of age anyways. So, what do you guys think about that as well?
I think you're right on the money. Like what we were saying, it would almost be like your mother or your father would have to assign you the rights to that corporation, but even then, it's got a double-edged sword. It's a catch-22 because at the same time the corporation's not valid. So you know, I mean, it's a double-edged sword. It's crazy. It's not something to be tampered with.
I keep thinking about the back of the Social Security card, where they actually, when they send it to you, they ask you to sign it, and I think maybe that's where you ratify everything and you accept it.
Yeah,
that's the joinder, you mean?
Yeah, I would agree with that, but then again, anybody can go ahead and say, hey, non-disclosure, cancel it out.
Right.
Sure, why not?
So, but the whole point of this is that what would be the point of doing that anyways? You know, I mean, we know that the government's probably most likely making a lot of money off of that, off of bonds and certain things, but in the end, there's no way for us to really, I guess, I would have to say, profit from it in any way, shape, or form. I think it's actually made so that the government can profit off of it, not for us.
Yeah, absolutely.
The only way we can profit, I think, is when the government, you know, violates our rights, civil or constitutional or federal. Since some people don't want to claim they're citizens, that's fine. They want to be people of the state of whatever. Then you know, do your redress of grievances and you sue the government or the city police or the state, whatever, in federal court, and that's how I think we have our power and we get our power back. But nobody's doing that because they rather go to jail and file fraudulent paperwork with the government and trying to get money through the Social Security that, in fact, I can almost guarantee is not even yours anyways. It's the government that created it through your parents.
Absolutely.
So this Greg Gentry, guys, you guys don't think he's legit in that sense either, right?
No, I think they've been setting the stage for him. In fact, it was kind of funny because on one of the message boards that I had saw just 2 or 3 weeks ago, somebody said, "Has anyone heard from Greg Gentry?" Well, that's the first time I've seen anybody post anything about him in months, right? And then this lady replies, who actually was the person who did the administration on his call. She would run the call for him on talk show. She sent back a message, "Oh yeah, he's going to be getting out May 5th. and he's going to be doing seminars, and so it was basically the beginning of the propaganda machine coming in.
Yeah, so I just got out of jail. Now pay me money. I'll show you how to get in jail. Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
I'll take your money and put you in jail.
there's a sucker born every minute, but I want to thank you guys, and I want to go ahead and stop this because it's already been 10 minutes, so thank you once again, and we'll make another video with your friend over there, okay?
Okay, great.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.